Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is KarQ. Happy Kiriko Day. I got my Kiriko t-shirt because today they announced a developer update, a little behind the scenes on how Kiriko came to be on the official Play Overwatch channel. And I did get to play Kiriko about 2 weeks ago now at the Creator Summit for a couple of hours, and now I can talk more in depth of how her abilities work because we actually have gameplay footage, not just the trailer, gameplay footage from this video, and I'll give you my little insights and tidbits based on what we see together. So, Play Overwatch channel, down here, video, Kiriko developer update. Let's see what we got.
So Kiriko was developed really with 5v5 in mind.
All right, here we go.
She's high mobility, she's a single target hybrid healer. She is fast. She can get to your little skirmishes, which happens a lot more often in 5v5 now. So she's super effective.
Okay, so this is the first bit of gameplay you guys are seeing of this. So the way her healing Ofuda works like this. Single target healer. Wow, I've been watching this in 720p the whole time.
Hybrid healer.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute this. Do you see how, here, I'll play this in slow motion. Do you see how the healing works? There is 5 papers. If I remember correctly, each paper heals 20 HP each. So how it works is she has two options. When you heal, you can either hold the mouse button down or you press it once, and all 5 of them will shoot out. And then you move your crosshair as they come out, or you can change a setting where like as soon as you let go, you'll hold half the ammo. But the moment you let go of the healing, if I remember correctly, it automatically reloads if you don't fire for like half a second. So you don't have to manually press reload on her too much because it'll keep doing it for you. So do you see how these papers are blue and then some of these papers turn yellow? If it's blue, it means you missed because these are seeking talismans. The moment your crosshair is not on a target and you're holding, you know how like they fire out automatically? If your crosshair is like obviously in between the two heroes, the papers come out blue, which means they won't follow any target. Even if your teammates walk into it, they won't get healed. They need to be yellow for it to, do you see it yellow? Or let me just rewind that. What I said makes sense. Okay, so yellow, 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 because she's hitting the Rhine Sojourn. Heal, 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 heal. And then it turns blue because you see how the Sojourn walked a little bit out of line of sight and like, or not out of line of sight, out of her crosshair, and Kiriko didn't re-aim. So the first couple of papers are seeking. These blue ones are not. They're gonna miss completely. Oh, that went yellow. That went blue. Blue, blue, blue. So the yellow ones follow. Boom, 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 boom. And if looks like yellow means it's seeking, but I think if they move too fast, they might break line of sight. I'll have to myth bust that and see how that works, but yeah. Oh, see, so the first two there, the first papers there missed. This one hit. These ones hit, 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 hit. Those first two missed, and they hit the wall back there. Got it? Hit yellow, 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 hitting, hitting, hitting. Missing, because now the cross, I think the first two yellows hit here. Blue, 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 blue. Missed, missed, because the crosshair's thing. And then as soon as the crosshair's covered Reinhardt, the last two papers are following. And then you see like the little targetable action, right? As long as that's up, that means like you're looking at them. Like they're within the seeking range. Boom, 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 boom. And it feels like Genji, so it looks like they have collision. So if Genji stands in front, I think he'll take the papers from Reinhardt. But the rest of them are seeking there. Cool?
Yeah, and she's very much like another battle healer. You know, she's in the action, jumps in and out. Not the kind of sit back and heal type of hero.
Shouldn't have put your head there.
Yeah, I think a lot of experienced players will have fun with her, and I think a lot of DPS players will love her.
Underestimated me, nah?
Yes, agreed.
From day one, really, her Fox was there in the design. It felt right.
Fox in every
design. Character visually.
These are concept arts, right?
The fox was based on the Japanese Inari, which is the fox spirit, and it's a guardian protector kind of spirit. In Japanese folklore, foxes are also known to represent cunning and smarts, which matches Kiriko's personality as well.
Now I'm having fun.
Kiriko actually started as an ecology boss unit that was part of the ninja ecology. Her hairband and bandana kind of comes from classic depictions of ninjas in pop culture. And it's got a symbol on the top. It's basically
the only one I know.
Kanji for kitsune, for fox turned diagonally, which is really cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Kanji for kitsune turned diagonal. That's a cool design.
The original design had a giant shuriken with ball bearings in it, inspired by fidget spinners.
Oh my god.
At the time, but we tried to maintain that as she became a support hero. However, learning from past mistakes when we tried to force a design and a concept together, we ended up just kind of retooling her to look more like a support hero.
Simplified.
Some of the old,
I like that.
some of the new.
So Kiriko's primary ability is the healing Ofuda. Ofudas are these paper talismans believed to be imbued with powers. When you do this ability, you see these Ofuda paper slips firing in two, and they home in on allies.
Yeah.
They're
I remember correctly. Yeah, each paper, 5 papers, each one heals about 20. Here we go.
And they home in on allies. They're a little slow, but you can use your ally teleport ability to offset that, or you can use the slowness in your advantage, and you can preemptively shoot them if you foresee that a teammate will need healing.
Hit.
Her secondary fire is she throws out a kunai.
Okay, let me just actually verify how much they heal. I can just look at the block. So each block or tick is 25 HP in Overwatch, right? So let's just see. If it's 20 each, then they should heal 100 HP. Or the Reinhardt should heal 100 HP.
They're a little slow, but you can use your ally teleport ability.
100 HP for Reinhardt would be 25. To
offset that, or you can use...
Oh, wait. That's one cycle of 5 papers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that is correct. Or no, each block is 20 HP, not 25 HP. Excuse me. Because I know a 200 HP hero is 8 blocks. So this is actually 20, 20, 20. That's 5. 20 HP per paper confirmed. And then that little tick over is the 1 HP that Ryan has.
Use the slowness in your advantage.
There you go.
And you can preemptively shoot them if you foresee that a teammate will need healing.
Her secondary fire is she throws out a kunai. And these are actually very fast in contrast to the Ofuda.
That's the tempo. That's as
low
fast as
overall damage, but it crits.
That's as fast as you can shoot this.
Low overall damage in contrast to the Ofuda. There's low overall damage, but it crits for a ton of damage, right? So very, very powerful in the hands of an accurate player. And the
40 damage on the body, 120 on the headshot. It crits more, 3x damage on the head, okay? That is the biggest multiplier in Overwatch. Currently, Widowmaker has a 2.5 times multiplier on her shots, right? Because Widowmaker's 100% power body shot does 120, and then 2.5 times for the head means it does 300 damage for a Widow headshot. I'm pretty sure Widow used to be 3x, but now it got nerfed to 2.5. Or sorry, the base of her thing used to be 150, and I think it was always 2.5x headshot. But yes, Kiriko does 3x to the head.
Very, very powerful.
120 to the head, player. 40 to the body.
And the idea here was to split her abilities thematically, having half of her abilities kind of be supportive with, you know, the healing Ofuda, and the other half is more about the offense and damage with the kunai. And yeah, this honors the kind of narrative elements of her mother and grandmother at the same time.
Also, the first iteration of Genji had the kunai, so the team's really happy that we're bringing it back.
Come on, Shimada.
One of her abilities is the ally teleport.
Okay,
she can teleport directly to an ally. She can even teleport through walls.
Yep.
And the distance is pretty generous.
35
so
meters.
you can travel across maps pretty far and pretty quickly.
And it's pretty quick.
This makes her a great support because
unlike Reapers, where like he picks a location, then he goes through an animation, then he has to giggle like ha 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 ha, death comes, and then he shoots. Kiriko's is like pretty much instant, and you can fire and use your actions right away. There's no like internal like weapon pull-out cooldown.
Get to her teammates quickly and just provide the healing power that the team needs.
Or healing.
Her second ability is called the Protection Suzu. Suzu are a small spell, and Kiriko throws them out, and it makes allies invulnerable briefly. And
invulnerable.
They also cleanse debuffs.
Is the better word to use than immortality. Because immortality means you can't die, but like people inside a Baptiste immortality field, they can't die, but they can still get stunned and earth shattered. Invulnerability is technically better than immortality in a sense, right? Because you're just invulnerable to everything completely, but that you can tell the duration is very short, 0.75 seconds, and invulnerability also means you can cleanse and you don't take any damage.
This is
and it heals, by the way, and it heals. You see that?
This is great to combo with her teleport.
That's 100 HP.
Makes allies invulnerable briefly, and they also cleanse
each block again.
Debuffs.
Is each, I think Anna's nade does 60, right? And then each block is 20 HP. These are 200 HP bots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 225 HP bots.
This is great to combo with her teleport ability to quickly get in there and support a teammate. You can also throw it down on yourself if you're in a sticky situation, and it kind of saves your hair. But it does.
You have to remember, I played Kiriko. It's a very short duration, 0.75 seconds, but like it's easily baited. It seems really strong on paper, which it is if used correctly. But like a Junkrat versus this is probably one of the easiest ones to bait. If I'm Kiriko and I see a Junkrat tire and it's coming close to me, the first instinct is to, you know, throw the Suzu down. As a Junkrat, you just spin your tire around, don't detonate it, bait it out, and then you detonate it after it's over. It's a very short time. Unlike Baptiste's Immortality Field, if you're Junkrat and you're flying your tire around and he lamps, that lamp is like what, 4 or 5 seconds? You have to wait forever, or you have to tell a teammate to break it. At that point, you just detonate it and let them take all that damage, and they're down to like low HP. But this one's more easily baitable, like even against Sombra EMP. See the translocator in the air? Or if you're a Sombra, sorry, you'll throw the translocator in the air, you'll do it, and then you just like won't EMP. You just bait it out, and then you go for it after.
But it does have a long cooldown, so
long cooldown.
It requires good judgment and timing.
I think if I remember correctly, it was 15 seconds. But
sounds like a really good counter to like sleep dart.
Yes.
Oh, see, it tells you 15 seconds. 14, instantly went to 14 with a little time. It's probably 15, starts counting down, it shows 14 first. So yes, invulnerability means you cancel CC, like sleep darts.
And Junker Queen's anti-heal.
Anti-nades, anti-effects. Ash Dynamite.
Passive ability is the wall
Maze Blizzard.
Climb. She can scale walls
climb,
like Genji
she trained
and
with Hanzo and Genji.
Because they trained together, we just felt it was appropriate.
So finally, Kiriko's ultimate is called the Kitsune Rush. It's a huge buff that gives you a ton of movement speed, attack speed, reload speed, and also cooldown reduction on your abilities on all allies affected.
So you can see the cooldown, movement speed, attack speed, cooldown reduction
on all allies.
Just everything. But look at the cooldowns down here.
Affected. Very, very powerful. It's great for just kind of initiating an attack on an objective. And actually, originally, it was
okay. So here's something that I discovered when I was playing Kiriko. You know how Protection Suzu obviously cleanses effects and it makes you invulnerable? What I found is when you start running in and engaging with your team, what I would do is I would Suzu my team first. Boom. So like when we walk forward for at least 0.75 seconds, you know, enemies are going to try to shoot you back. At least your team is invulnerable for 0.75 seconds. And as soon as that's done, we're initiating. I throw down my Kitsune Rush. My Tori gates come out, my teammates start flying in, and it accelerates the Suzu cooldown. So my protection Suzu can come up in 7 seconds. Boom, you throw it down. And then as my team finishes up, you can Suzu one more time. The math sounds a little weird here, but I do remember being able to Suzu, ult, Suzu halfway through it, and then Suzu one more time when the Kitsune Rush is over. So I do remember doing 3 Suzus in like a span of 10 seconds. So yeah, that's kind of, if you cycle the cooldown correctly, you can argue that's a little OP. But the Kitsune Rush goes in a straight line, right? If it hits any sort of obstacle or object, the Tori gates and the Kitsune Rush actually stops. If an enemy breaks line of sight, you know, it's less effective, but it is a really good engagement tool simply because of the movement speed. But it's kind of like Baptiste Window, where like an enemy uses it, you try to just get out of the way.
On all allies affected.
It's also not a 2x rate on the cooldown. It definitely seems like it's faster. If I was able to Suzu 3 times, it's definitely more than
allies.
2x.
Reload speed and
right?
also cooldown reduction on your abilities. On all allies.
That's like 3 times speed on the cooldown.
Very, very powerful. It's great for just kind of initiating an attack on an objective. And actually, originally it was just going to be the Fox, but found it kind of hard to track where the Fox was going. So the Tori gates were more done out of just give you kind of a target and seeing where the Fox is going, but it just ended up also looking just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Kiriko is voiced by Sally Amaki. Sally did an amazing job bringing a cool girl energy to Kiriko. Her voice is cool and wry, and she has a wicked sense of humor that is dry as a desert. She really sounds like the lone wolf, cool girl that everyone at school respects. And I'm really looking forward to looking at the players' response at all of her digs, because she will take a dig at anyone. And especially the Genji and Hanzo conversations. Keep an ear out for those, because there's a lot of inside jokes, history, and humor there. And that about wraps it up for Kiriko. We can't wait for all of you to get a chance to play her.
Voice lines with Hanzo, Genji, they're going to be great.
Can't change the world by following all the rules.
Cool. But that's my take on some of her abilities. I'm excited for you guys to try her out. I mean, when I say I played her, I actually played her for just a I played her for like 2 or 3 games. It wasn't enough to get an idea of who I think she will be played best with, ideal comps. I can only theorize, or theorycraft, excuse me. And I played Kiriko with Mercy when I tested her out, and I played her with Lucio. I think with Lucio, it's okay, because people are like, oh, double speed buff, run it with Junker Queen or whatever. But it's her ultimate that's the speed, right? Lucio just has speed by default, and Junker Queen has the commanding shout speed, which is on like, what, a 10-15 second cooldown. Kiriko's is her ultimate, so the whole idea of a speed comp doesn't really apply, because it's so like, you only build it every like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. It's kind of a slow ultimate to build, at least in my experience. So, I actually didn't like the Lucio style with her too much. I actually think she could benefit pretty hard with a dive comp that doesn't necessarily require speed. Like Ball, Genji, Tracer can kind of get in and dive without needing like a Lucio speed. And then Kiriko just teleports in because it's a 35-meter range. You can play like, you know, Kiriko and Mercy. So Mercy can fly with the dive heroes. You can even play Echo or Pharah with like a Tracer or Genji as your other DPS with a Ball, maybe Winston, maybe Diva. They initiate. And then your Mercy stays up there, and you as a Kiriko just teleport in. You don't necessarily need the speed in that sense. So Kiriko Mercy seems okay in theory, but I want to argue that she would probably work pretty well with Ana or Baptiste if you play a slower comp, because she's definitely a more flex support, utility, and survivability kind of concept. The double immortality is another concept that people are kind of throwing around, because Bap can lamp, and if you don't have lamp, you have protection Suzu, which will be your other invulnerability option. So there's just too much stuff to kind of get through when you try to, when enemies make a big play. You have 2 invulnerability buttons, as long as you don't stack them. And Immortality Field on Baptiste and Mercy Res, the 2 I pointed out, have really long cooldowns. Like Lamp is like, what, 20 or 25 seconds, the Immortality Field, excuse me, and the Mercy Res is 30 seconds. If combined with Kiriko's ultimate, accelerating those cooldowns have a really, really good, like incredibly good value when you play with Baptiste. You lamp your team in, and just sitting in that ultimate means you can lamp again within like 10 seconds. And then obviously with Kiriko, you can use your Suzu 3 times. It's just a lot of shit to get through. So I would say be on the lookout for those 2. That's just my theory at this time. I could totally be wrong, but if that stands, it is what it is. We'll see how the community reacts. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you, Kiriko mains, on the ladder. Peace.